begin a game of Star Wars Armada. It's me against myself. Over here we have a MC-80 Star Cruiser. I took the 96.1. Took the gunnery team, General Doldana, and Tactical Expert. Then the other MC-80 Command Cruiser, the 106 point version, with boosted comms, Wing Commander, Independence, Projection Experts, and redundant shields. So, along with that ship, I've deployed 2 B-Wing squadrons. The idea being, if I use Wing Commander and boosted comms and Independence, then I might be able to make those B-Wings useful. I deployed my strategy both at full speed, strategy being to press this one forward to hit that front arc where all of its guns are, and then to swing this one around to use its side guns wherever they are. Now, on the Imperial side of things, I have a Victory class Star Destroyer at 85 points. Took the ion cannons, cluster bombs, and chart officer. Planning on using it as sort of a battering ram type strategy. Thus the chart officer. I took a Raider 1 class Corvette, and he's deployed over here. The idea is put him at full speed, try to swoop around and attack the back of those rebels. Then I have an Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer, 110 points. Navigation Officer, Relentless, Grand Moff Tarkin is my general, and Ordnance Experts. The idea between Relentless and Navigation Officer is that might be able to outmaneuver the rebels, seeing as how I'm Star Destroyers, which, you know, are a little bit more maneuverable, but their gun arcs are less flexible. And I deployed him there, put him at 0 speed. I want to see what the rebels are going to do before I jump in. And him over here in the corner. We deployed obstacles there in the middle with the base right smack in the middle. And the card that we chose was Advanced Gunnery. The rebels go first. And here we go. I forgot to mention that since we chose gunnery, or advanced gunnery, the objective ship for the rebels will be the Star Cruiser, and the objective ship for the Imperials will be the Imperial class Star Destroyer, of course. So I revealed an engineering command, and so I got the token, and I just went full speed ahead and moved the cruiser straight up. Since I'm not in range of anything, I just revealed my command dial, got a repair command, and my Imperial class Star Destroyer is just staying put for now. Okay, I think I showed you the wrong card last time, but anyway, the cruiser does an engineering command and gains a token. I believe I've been calling them repair commands, but they're engineering commands. And I just moved him forward and angled him a little bit more towards the battle. So I gained an engineering token for my Corvette, and then I whipped that bad boy forward and tilted him a little bit around. And squadron's turn. So I moved my B-Wings up over here, which actually puts them out of command range of their mothership. But, you know, my strategy is to use these boosted comms and the independence card to be able to eventually, maybe even next turn, be able to move those squadrons up to attack the Star Destroyer. So we'll see how that works out. And that will be the end of turn 1. Okay, with my Star Cruiser, I revealed a move command. I moved his speed down to 2, and I moved him forward, now overlapping the base, and that puts me in perfect position for next turn if the Imperials don't do anything crazy. And I also am going to recorrect myself. Those are called repair commands, repair tokens. Sorry, I'm new at this. Thanks. So I forgot to reveal my command dial the last round, and it was a movement. So I gained a movement token, and my command dial for this turn is actually a focus fire. So I attacked the cruiser. I attacked its side, and since I overlapped an obstacle, that usually removes one of my dice, but since I had focus fire, I just used it. I rolled 4 hits. The cruiser braced and redirected, so it lost its shield on this side and on this side for the first attack. My second roll was right there. I lost 1 dice because it overlaps, and because we have the advanced gunnery card, I attacked twice from the same hole, and again to the side, took off one of his shields, so that cruiser's shields on that side are now at 0. So on my command cruiser, I revealed a movement command, and I took the token, and then I just swung that guy around right there. Okay, with the Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer, I revealed a focus fire, and I took the token because I'm not within range, and I'm just going to stay put right there and let the rebel scum come to us. So with the Raider 1 class Corvette, I revealed a focus fire, so I took the token, except I forgot to put it on there, so I'll do that in a second. And if you can see him way over there off in the distance, I swung him way around just out of range of that cruiser. We'll see if we'll be able to swing around and shoot him in the back like we planned. And that will be the end of the ship phase. Okay, in the squadron phase, I just moved my B-Wings over a little bit, hoping that I'll be within this Calamari's, the command cruiser's range on the next turn. I might regret not being more aggressive with these guys, but we'll see what happens. I also haven't been switching over their turns because it really doesn't matter since they're the only squadrons on the board, as far as I can tell. And that will be the end of turn 2. So my Star Cruiser fired. He revealed a movement command, but I can use Tactical Expert to change that to a Concentrate Fire command, which I did. I rolled. Now this isn't an exact representation of the right color of dice and stuff because I don't have enough dice, but that is what I rolled. Just maybe not using those colors. So he blocked one of my criticals, and then he redirected the other 1, 2, 3, 4 shots, and I blocked his brace. So he took 1 hit on his shield in front, and the other 3 took his shields down to 0 on that other side. I forgot to use my Grand Moff Tarkin skill, so I used that this round and this turn, and I added a bunch of command tokens to my other ships. I fired 4 hits, and blocked both of his braces. So he redirected to this shield over here, which is now at 0, and then he took 2 hits to the front. I also failed to mention that I moved him, so I moved him up over here. And I also forgot to say that I repaired one of his shields. I can't exactly remember which one it was during his turn. Okay, for the command center, or yeah, the command cruiser, I used my projection expert, spent my repair token there to restore some shields to the Star Cruiser, and then when I moved over, I was able to regain one of those shields back anyway, because I'm barely overlapping the station there. I also used my boosted comms and my independence to allow those B-wings to activate even though they were out of my range, and also to move up close. The one squadron is within range of the Star Destroyer, the other squadron is not. I think that I wasted that the independence card. I mean, it was only 8 points, but I think I'm going to need to rethink my strategy. I could have easily have just moved twice instead of, dinking around in here and then moving 4, because either way I would have moved 4 up. So I think I'm going to have to rethink that. I think it's useful, I just got to figure out how to use it, and of course you want to use it on the B-Wings because they're slow. But that's that. So the Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer, the Victory class 2 Star Destroyer, blew up the cruiser there. Bam, he's dead. I basically rolled that, and then before I took down his shields and did 4 damage to him, blocking any of his remaining. Well, he had 2 braces, but I blocked both of them, and then I hit him for 4 more damage, including those 2 criticals, which didn't really matter. Didn't need to resolve them since his hull was already down. So that's the end of him. The Corvette gained his repair token, and I just swung him around the back there. I spent one of my movement tokens, so I gave him 1 little extra turn there. He might be a little too far off to be as effective this game, but it's not too bad. So the squadrons I already activated and moved this turn, so I can't do anything with them, and that will make it the end of turn 3. In the status phase, I get to add a shield back to my Calamari cruiser, which will probably put it at full shields again going into the final big conflict. Okay, the command cruiser revealed a movement, so I took my movement down to 1, and I fired out of my side towards that Imperial or the Victory Class 2 Star Destroyer, and I did 3 damage. One of them critical. He blocked the critical and braced the other one, so he took 1 damage to his front shield, which is now at 2. Now my second shot out of the front hull was a critical, and so I took off 1 more shield to his front. So the Victory 2 shot twice into the side hull of the command, and the first time I got 2 hits, but he braced against it, turning it into 1, and then the second shot was that 2. So he takes 3 hits. He redirected 1 to the rear because it may be unlikely that guy can catch up anytime soon. Also, the Victory 2 revealed a movement command, and so we moved him up closer. The Imperial class Star Destroyer revealed a focus fire command, and he used that to add a black die against the squadron of B-Wings. The total roll was that many hits, which is enough to take it out, so see you later. The Corvette revealed a focus fire, which is useless, and he moved up right behind that command center. He might take some shots there, but I think it puts him in good position. And look at that triad of firepower aimed at that poor command center. So I activated my B-Wing and unloaded onto this Victory 1. And look at that, I blocked his brace. He redirected the 2 hits to his side shield. And that will be the end of turn number 4. So I absent-mindedly forgot to move my command center, which would have put it in range of that Star Destroyer's blue dice. So I let him re-roll his 2 hits, and it did a significant amount of damage. He did redirect and lost all of his rear shields, and he still has 2 side shields left. So the command center activated, issued a fleet command. So the B-Wing swooped up there and attacked. Got 2 hits. He braced and redirected to his right side there. Command attacked the Victory 2 class Star Destroyer. Stripped off all of his shields, so he's at 0 all the way around because he redirected. And let's see, I'm sorry, he could have blocked one of those criticals, so I'm going to give him 1 more shield because I did that wrong, but he's still in dire straits. So command ship moved up, which actually puts him in perfect position because he's going to be out of range of the Corvette there with anything but blue. You know, he doesn't have any red attack power, so that wasn't very nice. And the other good thing is I'm still on that base, so I got one of my shields back. So I'm still pretty close to full shields everywhere except for the very back, which again the Corvette can't hit anyway, so far so good. So the first shot of the Victory class against the side of command did 5 damage. I blocked his brace. He redirected and got rid of one of those criticals, but still did a lot of damage. He's at 1 shield in the front, 1 shield on that side. The Victory 2 second shot on my side, which he can do because again we have an advanced gunnery card, and the Imperials are the second player, so they can do it twice. If you can see there, now I have General Odana, so I basically chose which face-up cards I want by revealing the top 4, choosing which one I want, and discarding the rest. The 1 says I cannot spend exhausted defense tokens, which I'd rather do anyway, and when I overlap an obstacle, I deal 1 face-down damage card to my ship, in addition to the effect of the obstacles. But I'm already past obstacles. I mean, I'll be off that base soon anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But I did take 3 damage to the hull. So then I moved the Victory 2 Star Destroyer up, and he's in excellent position, just barely missing a collision. So there we go. So the Imperial 1 Star Destroyer unloaded on those B-Wings, hit them for 4 damage, so almost took them out, not quite. I also noticed that I'm using the wrong color of dice to represent the hits, and that's just because I don't have enough dice. I'm rolling correctly, I'm just using different colored dice to represent correctly the amount of damage, so I try to get more dice, but in the meantime I'm not cheating, I'm just trying to make it easy to represent. So the B-Wings are barely hanging in there and alive. I could have attacked the front of the command center, but with just red dice, I don't think it was worth it. Need to get rid of those pesky B-Wings. So I moved up the Corvette. I actually slowed him down a little, so he's now at, sorry, I didn't move that up. He's now at 3. And he should be able to fire next round and finally do something. And that will be the end of turn number 5. So we have 1 round left. See how it goes. So the command ship unloaded on that guy. The Victory 2 class Star Destroyer. Stripped all of his shields off. Now, I did block his critical, his brace, and one of his redirects just because I didn't have anything else to block. But he did redirect, so he took off one of his hits. But he's shieldless right now. He also cannot attack at long range, which really doesn't really matter. But if he changes, when he changes his speed by 1 or more, he suffers 1 damage, which he probably will never do because I'm not going to change his speed. But starting to do some hull damage on that guy. So I shot with my command center at the Corvette. I took off both of his front shields and did 2 damage by blocking his redirect and hitting him 4 times. Then I moved him forward using my turn or maneuver token to allow him to get an extra turn there, putting him in perfect position for those 2 Star Destroyers. But of course that Corvette's right in my back where I have 0 shields, which isn't good, but we'll see how this ends up. So the Victory Class 2 Star Destroyer unloaded on me. He blocked my brace and my critical. So I couldn't redirect, or I used one of my redirects to take off one of those hits. The other 3 I just took, one of those being the critical, and I chose disengage fire control, which just means that if there was a if the attack would be obstructed, then I can't attack against that, but that's not going to happen, so I'm not too worried about it. So his second unload on me, I used brace to half it, and then I blocked one of his criticals. So I took 2 hits. The critical I chose was that he can choose up to 2 of my hull zones, and each of those lose 1 shield. Only one of my hull zone can lose a shield, so that wasn't too bad. And I have exactly 1 hull point left before I'm toast. We'll see how this goes. So I think it's pretty much over, but just for fun, I'm going to keep doing it to the bitter end. I chose a focus fire for the Imperial class and rolled 3, so the B-wings are gone. Boom. Now we'll see if my last shot can take out that command center. So as expected and predicted, the Imperial 1 class Star Destroyer just tore apart that command center and rolled marvelously. So that will be it. Wiped out the rebels. I'm really going to have to work on that rebel strategy a little bit. I really like B-wings. I want to make them work, and I think they did, some decent damage. I'm not sure exactly where my strategy went wrong. I know I did waste a lot of my fleet actions and could have got some extra points and could have spent better. I think I really like General Odana, but I might explore using Akbar next time. We'll see. I really like the Imperial strategy of just sitting there and letting the ships come to me, although, I'm still not sure how I feel about using that Corvette to swing around. I think I could have maneuvered him just a little bit better to get in some shots. I could have had a shot there in the last if it hadn't blown the ship up first. So I probably broke some rules, did some things wrong. If you guys want to put that down in the comments section, I'd really appreciate it. I really like this game. I think it's more fast-paced and more fair than the X-Wing miniature game, which is funny since it's a capital ship game. And I appreciate your comments. Let me know what I can do better in the battle report, and I will see you later.